Okay, started. So welcome back to the community meeting membership states. So I had some thought, and I kind of messaged this to Nick. I said we just need a MVP. If you're familiar with, I think it's like a marketing term, minimum viable product. We could say minimum viable proposal. So maybe what we should focus, I think, is just get the. I think you might have mentioned this also, Stefan, just basic uh, membership pathway or whatever for the owners, and then we'll kind of worry about it later. So basically, what uh, if it's a owner of a Fruit Haven property, let's say, I don't know where we can write it down somewhere. So maybe they have to have certain criteria like that we know they'll meet, not worry, I think, about the presence and visitation at all. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, to just drop that all together, and not, because it's kind of too difficult to, it's like, how many days, what are we going to look at people's passports, like it's too many nuanced kind of details. Maybe we just say, okay, if you are indeed an owner, we can see it on the title, and then if you didn't violate, let's say, if someone was violent or things like that, obviously they were voted out, so there is a case like that. So that's already out. And then for I don't know about people that, let's say, aren't vegan, maybe we can give them this 1 year to consider kind of becoming compliant, let's say. That's one thinking that I had. So give them that, and at the same time we'll have this process, so the applicant, trial, full, or whatever, member, active, exited. And oh yeah, also I was thinking, I kind of started watching this what was it, minimal sociocracy or whatever, and they talked about speaking in rounds. I noticed sometimes we have people speaking over people, and it's kind of hard to hear in the audio recording and everything. So maybe what we can do, on my list it says my name, Stefan, Nick, and Rob. Maybe we can follow this order and then give. So let's say I'm done. Stefan is next. He's done. He'll say, okay, Nick is next, and then Rob, and then maybe back to me. And if you don't want to say anything, you just say pass, and then the next person will say. So with that, I'll give Stefan a chance.
Okay, yeah, really nice ideas, really nice thoughts. Thank you, Boris. I love the MVP idea. That's exactly what we're going for, a minimal viable proposal. That's awesome. Um, Also, the other things you mentioned feel very aligned, so that's really good. And yeah, what we could do first, what I would propose is if you have any proposals created for the physical presence and the maintenance of the lot, like 2 sentences that summarize um, what you would like to define there, that would be great. We could start with that. Also, short note, I took this transitional membership pathway proposal out of the current proposal, so it's now 2. I don't know if you agree. We can talk about this. I just find it probably easier to manage and to yeah, when it comes to voting and passing proposals, that makes it maybe easier. So it's now below the membership states proposal. You can find it. I didn't delete it. I just moved it out. It's below. Yeah, that's so far from my side.
Yes, let's just. I didn't get quite. I had to pay attention to some other thing here. So, are you saying that taking out this transitional kind of membership for old owners, or are we just kind of assuming that they are owners and like for them for 1 year, or what did we say about that?
No, I didn't delete it. I just moved it into a new proposal. So we have some sort of abstraction between these two things. I mean, they're strongly related, but because the
Sorry, I
current
didn't hear
membership
that.
states, which part did you not hear? Everything? Shall I repeat? Are you here with us, Rob?
It was like he cut out.
Yeah.
There he dropped.
There he is.
Oh.
Rob, do you hear us? Are you with us?
Yes, now I hear you.
Okay.
I have some weird
Perfect.
things going on with my Bluetooth headset, so I just kind of try to disconnect it, but then Telegram gets a bit wonky. So
Okay. So what I was saying is I didn't delete anything. I just took it out into a new proposal. So I extracted it because the membership states proposal is already pretty long. I see there and recognize a strong connection, and it's very important. Both parts are important, but I wanted to to separate it so it's maybe easier when it comes to voting and passing these proposals.
yes, yes.
Okay, so I guess maybe Rob or somebody missed that. My suggestion, if you guys think it works, is go in a certain order. So, okay, I spoke, then Stefan, then let's say Rob, and then Nick, or whatever order. Yeah, it looks like that on my screen now, but I think it changes.
Yeah, the problem is we have to kind of just maintain the order without looking at the screen because it keeps changing there.
Fair enough, but I guess we can memorize it's only 4.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep going. Nick?
Yeah. Say, what is it you want each one of us to do?
I was just giving a chance so that way we don't like speak over. Like I noticed in the other meetings, and I saw this video about minimal sociocracy where it's everybody, or I think it was just sociocracy. Anyway, it was like you speak in rounds so everybody gets a chance, and that way people don't kind of like cut off each other. Especially, it seems useful online because like we have a lag and then people speak over, blah blah blah. So let's say we maintain a certain order, and then you have a chance. If you don't want to say anything at that moment, you could just say pass, I guess, and it'll go continue. So let's say me, Stefan, Rob, Nick, or whatever, something like that. Anyway.
Okay, sure. Yeah, let's. I don't have anything in particular to say. I just let's go with whatever's our priority.
So then, did someone create two sentences for the physical presence and the maintenance of the lots for the proposal for the transitional membership pathway? We said last time this would be the homework. We could do this async outside of the meeting. Did someone do it? Does someone have 2 sentences there?
I put it in the chat there. Some minimum physical presence should be required for new applicants, and current members should participate and maintain their lots X times per year.
Okay. Could you share it maybe here in the chat? I don't find it at the moment.
In the community meetings chat, here it is.
Okay, I found it. Okay. So some minimum physical presence should be required for new applicants, and the second one, current members should participate and maintain their lots X times per year. So yeah, they're good. We just need to be more clear about it. So what is a minimum physical presence? And also what is participation and maintenance? How many times per year? And what does it actually define? So we make it crystal clear, and so there's no debates or confusion about it. It's a good base.
So I don't know what order of speaking we have now, but if I can take this turn. So I was saying in the beginning, and maybe I wasn't totally clear, but my proposal now is to completely get rid of the physical presence and maintenance of the lot requirement just for this MVP. Just make it like if you are an owner and you paid the budget and you haven't violated the bylaws and you have and the participation in the community governance definition that Stefan made. But even if he didn't, let's say, participate in the last, I don't know, meeting or whatever, because, you know, it's only going to be how many here? You know, 2, 3 of us, you know, like Nick, Rob, me, and but that's so maybe we'll just to make it like this participation going forward for the next year. So we give a chance. So we say, okay, you're an owner, you have this special transitional membership. So right now, for example, will become Nick, me, Rob will be members automatically, and everybody else is also. So we have 1 year, 365 days, assuming everybody agrees to it and there's no like strong disagreements. And we just move forward. We have basically 2 things to propose, saying that everybody that's currently an owner becomes a member, regardless, you know, of physical presence. Mainly, it's too difficult to track. Like, we're not going to go looking at their passports. We're not going to go looking at their lots, asking them if they maintain stuff. But what we can track, okay, so we can see if they are an owner. Number 1. Number 2, they haven't, let's say, violated something where it's an issue and we said, no, we had kick you out. Number 3, that you paid a budget. And generally, we can see if people paid, and maybe we'll even be slightly lenient and give them sort of a chance. And then going forward this year, you have a year to, let's say, if you didn't pay the budget yet, there's some people that maybe didn't pay yet, but they are willing, or they would be more willing if they see that there's a reason like this. And then they have the chance in this year to complete the videos, to watch them, understand them, participate, and then participate in the governance, whatever it means. So yeah, that's kind of what I think. We can just do a MVP, just get fast track. Okay, we don't have enough information on how, you know, to see if people maintain or not maintain, how many days a year, how many days a month, or whatever, if they visited, how many days this year, last year, 10 years ago. So yeah, that's my proposal. Yeah, whoever wants to speak, I guess, go ahead.
Yeah, I can speak quickly. I agree with that. Just kind of scratch that part that makes it complicated, and just, you know, kind of everybody's a member from here on out, and you know, within this year we have to fulfill the requirements in order to stay a member, you know, after the first year. But this with the maintaining your lot and stuff like that, it just yeah, you know, people need to have a chance to start doing that also.
Okay. Look, there's 2 questions. One of them is some minimum physical presence should be required for new applicants. So that one we can set right away. I think we can. It's just like a matter of agreeing whether it's a month or 3 months. That one we can put aside. That's number 1. For number 2, yeah, I don't mind removing it, although there is a practical reason why I would prefer to have X amount of times per year. Well, and I'm thinking twice per year. I actually wrote it above. So maintaining their lots 2 times per year. And the tracking, they just document it. They take a picture of what they did, they log it, and they post it in the email or chat, however they want. Now, the practical reason for doing this is we have this private infrastructure which is our roads. We have fiber optic cables. We have water systems. And why I'm mentioning those, because all of these systems are in need of maintenance. So water systems, pipes burst, different pressures. If it rained, if it was dry, those mud could have gone in. That's a lot of responsibility if the owners are not participating in maintenance. The road, the same thing, road erodes. So around my property, I have the capability of taking care of that. It's next to my place. It's, it's simple. I use it. So it's, I maintain it while I live here. But everyone that's not here, the weeds, they grow. The water diverts onto the road. It starts carving out trenches in the middle of the road, makes it unsafe, makes it unusable. And then, of course, trees fall. The trees could fall on a cable and so on. This a requirement for maintenance, I think, is like the minimum, and if tracking is an issue, well, that's a different problem that we can talk about that, and I'm sure there's like simple solutions for that. But I think 2 times per year, even if it's 1 time a year, is better than nothing for like 3 or 4 years, like some people are doing right now. So, and the reasons are these private infrastructure maintenance by the community. We have this thing, or else the infrastructure is getting whacked for everyone.
If I may speak, but that comes down to paying the budgets, right? Because the maintenance goes into the budgets, not so much maintaining maintaining the private lot. Or am I incorrect?
Yeah, it's budgets could be addressing that it could be doing its thing, but maintaining the lot there's infrastructure that is around people's lots. So for example, some of the water systems, they pass through people's lots. So what happens when a pipe bursts on an individual's lot and then it leaks through his lot onto the main road? That has happened already. There's other problems, like for example, the road that's around their place is just overgrown. The trees that fall that is like on their property, that affects the community infrastructure. Individual lots that aren't maintained affect community as a whole. That's my point. There's snakes, animals, all kinds of things as well, right? Like there's a lot of issues with unmaintained lots.
Yeah, but couldn't that be baked into the budgets then? Because I mean, at Fruithaven 3, all the roads, even if they pass mine or Kevin's lot or whoever, it goes under the community budget, the road work, basically.
Yeah, some of them for sure can, but there's some examples that are not.
Just quickly to jump in, yeah, so I agree with Rob that it should go under a communal or a special roadwork budget. Also, I just want to point out that, for example, in my case, my lot is mostly like next to a public road that gets maintained by the municipality, and so I'm not really maybe required as much. I would maybe pitch in a little bit. I have like a mountain lot as well, but it's mostly for walking. So I'm not like maybe necessarily as obligated to maintain roads or things like that, or maybe to a lesser extent, I'm not sure. So I think there's some nuances to it, and then kind of tracking. It's something that requires a bit more work, and so I think for this MVP, so I think there's definitely value in the idea that somebody paid the budget is important, and that should stay. But maintenance for private lot, I think it's kind of a separate category. And so I think for this MVP, we can, for now, maybe put it like like maybe, okay, you have this year to do it, but it doesn't mean like automatically disqualified. So maybe we should look at who is kind of disqualified from becoming a member. So number one is maybe they haven't paid budgets in 3 years, in the last 3 years or something. And then the main thing maybe that they haven't adhered to the bylaws. Now, yeah, so basically someone like that got kicked out, whatever, that's easy to say, okay, that's disqualified, but somebody maybe that's wasn't vegan, but maybe we could give them a chance to like do something about it. I don't know. That's another topic, I guess.
Thanks, Stefan. If you're not going to say anything, I have a response.
Yeah, go for it. I think that's very internal what you're discussing. Yeah, just always keep in mind that that we're creating the MVP, and also we could create a separate proposal for that too, like we did with the participation definition of what governance means. So a lot maintenance definition, and we can put it in there, and then we can move on, and we can create that definition also another day. But just an idea. Now I'll let you talk.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, look, guys, I agree that some of the examples you can just say doesn't apply to me, therefore I don't care. But there are like situations that are not being named necessarily, but could be there that are like a direct result of lot maintenances. So it's not just like, you know, oh, your grass is too tall and there might be a snake in it. Yeah, it could be that, but it could be like an example, like I mentioned, just water systems going through someone's property and the pipes bursting on their land because there is, you know, overgrowth and water spooling, for example. So like if someone's pipe bursts and then there's like it creates like a huge swamp and then it goes onto the road, like this is a responsibility of that individual lot that kind of allow like just negligence, neglect that resulted in that situation. But then it's going to be up to the community budget to take care of that. Like, you know, this is something that having that minimum maintenance, even if it's one time per year, it's a huge benefit in the long term for the community.
I don't know if there are turns yet. I guess Rob, do you want to say something?
I'm not sure. I think this is like this is a pretty, it requires more of a discussion. I understand Nick's perspective on this, definitely. I'm just kind of contemplating it and also thinking, yeah, well, if a water line goes through someone's lot and the water line is for the whole community, then this water line maintenance should be under the community budget, even if it goes through someone's personal lot. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
It's not necessarily for the community. It could be, sorry, I'm interrupting. It's just to add to the thing, it could be just a few owners that are sharing that water line. It's not a community water line necessarily.
Yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah. Well, but maybe this is not a super important discussion like right now, but I hear you, like some maintenance can be required, like really to, if you have infrastructure like that will be damaged if you don't maintain, you know.
Yeah, so I agree. I guess if Rob is done, I can say my thoughts that basically what you're saying, okay, I understand. I think I even know the specific issue or whatever that you were talking about. So yeah, it's somebody that was like putting their lot for sale for a couple of years now and just living elsewhere or whatever. So yeah, maybe this is something that could be baked into a community budget, and then it's like, okay, some issues happening on the road, and even if it's like a private water hose. But anyway, I guess the point is, would that disqualify this person from becoming a member because this happened? Does this person, let's say, did they not contribute for the last 3 years to a community budget, or maybe there hasn't been one? So those are the main questions. Like, to become the minimum viable product for just this transitional membership. Oh yeah, and one thing you did mention, and I think we probably all agree that minimum physical presence should be required for new applicants. Yes, that's I agree with that, and I think probably Rob maybe does. So this is we're just gonna try to focus on the transitional membership and the member roles and states, or what was it? Oh yeah, membership states. So kind of like minimum, what we can do, like, okay, this is interesting for us, present it to all these owners, and then whoever wants to participate, participates, and then we kind of continue developing the Arcos layers and framework or whatever.
Okay, someone wants to say something.
So yeah, so guys, without going into the specifics of what the issues are, I'm just saying there might be. And we previously talked about having a requirement, like for MVP, right? Having a requirement for current members to have some sort of presence. This is, I think, is a good compromise, no? Like having them, like, minimum amount of personal lot contribution, right? Because don't we want that as well? Don't we want people to get land here and then, do something with it rather than, we already have community areas that are reserved for nature reserves, but eventually we want to have an eco village. So having some kind of minimum, like once per year, some sort of contribution to their personal lot development. Like this is what we're talking about. So like does it need further discussion? Maybe we can say, suggestions of amounts, like minimum an amount of time per year and how much is the minimum to be discussed. Can we add that?
Yeah, it could also be, just thinking when you said minimum amount, it could also be a dollar value, like what you think, let's say there's $100 a year. Because I know this particular case, and I know there are many cases maybe similar where it's somebody that's been putting their lot for sale, has no interest of coming, wants to sell it. So it's like, well, we can sort of understand, give them a break of some sort and say, okay, you need to do a minimum of, let's say, $100 a year, just clear some weeds around the road of your lot and whatever. You want to let your fruit trees get overgrown and lose value. You want to let your house get overgrown, get termites. That's your problem, right? Like they're trying to sell, they're trying to get out, they can't, they're stuck, they're not interested, they put too much money in. So we kind of have to come up with an idea of like, okay, well, just for your lot, you can delegate it to, let's say, Nick or somebody. You can hire a worker, have it done, give him $100. You can do a 150, 200, whatever you think the number is. And so that's like a yearly, let's say, budget contribution to not the community, but their private budget. So maintenance budget, I don't know, for their private lot kind of thing. If that's what you think. But the main question, like, well, if they didn't, let's say, do it for the last, I don't know, year, 2, 3 years, maybe this is not going to disqualify them. If they don't do it for the next year, once we pass this proposal, maybe then they will get disqualified. Because most likely they're probably not going to even watch those videos, do the quizzes, or participate in the community governance. So they'll probably get disqualified anyway.
Yeah, fair enough. I think the people that are interested and are doing it would actually appreciate seeing that there is something like this. So, it's an incentive as well. Through anyway, it's not my turn to talk, but thank you.
Yeah, if I can add something, I think that sounds kind of okay. And this, it doesn't have to be maybe a lot. Like if you say 5 days of work per year, for example, this would be $125 or a bit more, maybe, like if you hire workers. But this would also be enough to take care of those few critical things that you need to take care of, to not have things go to ruin and affect your neighbors, right? Like
Exactly. Yeah.
and it's not much. Like if you can afford to eat every day of the year, you can afford this, right?
Yeah. It's like what, $10 a month, maybe.
Basically, or yeah.
Okay, so we can come up with a specific number, and then I guess we need to still do quizzes for the nonviolent communication sociocracy video.
Just to finish on this topic, since we're very close, I think we all mentioned that same number, $125, which equates to 5 days a week. Maybe we can say it's 5 days or 120 or $100 per year. You know, that could be the definition. Like Rob mentioned, 100 and 5 days, and Boris, you too. And I'm okay with that as well. What do you guys think?
I think 5 days instead of a money number, because 5 days, like maybe I go there myself and you know, put in some days of work, and that's perfect, you know. But maybe I hire someone to do it. It's just 5 days of maintenance, no matter who is doing it for you. It can be a neighbor also, whatever.
Yeah, it could be a volunteer.
Exactly.
Right. So maybe it can be 5 days of work or 125 days or $125 per year, whatever. So it's like two options basically. Either or will be accepted.
I second that.
Sounds good.
You want to define what type of work it includes? Because if I go there for myself and I just prune one tree for 5 days, is that enough?
Fine, I think. Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, we could define the kind of work. So yeah, just like weed whacking, farm maintenance, chop and drop, like the standard stuff everyone does here.
Yeah, and it should be like 5 days of actual work, and that might mean actually a little bit less work being done high up on the mountain, for example, if it takes a worker a long time to walk up and down and they're not actually putting in like 8 hours chopping. But like it will still be like 5 days of work, and you can get enough done those days, but not just for sitting up there and kind of listening to the birds.
Yeah, fair enough. And I'm thinking, I thought that something would be that you were gonna say maybe like clearing around the road and ditches. Like if someone wants to let their fruit trees get overgrown and their chop and drop get whatever big, it doesn't matter to the overall community. I mean, yeah, we want development and everything, and there's some communities like in Costa Rica, they have a minimum development. Like in 1 year, you have to have like a plan approved for building a house and stuff like that. Obviously, we can't do that at this point, but something like clearing around the road if they're on a private road, let's say. So like if they have a lot that goes on a private road, maybe that could be an option to consider, something like that, clearing the ditches maybe.
I think if we put like general maintenance and we give examples, chop and drop, clearing ditches, checking water systems, that could be sufficient, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. It can prevent a lot of misunderstandings and ways around it, I think that's.
And maybe we can even specify like 5 days of 8-hour kind of work day, not like, let's say, volunteers, they do like, let's say 2 hours or 4 hours or something, and then it's probably a lot like lighter and work. So it could be more specific, and then yeah, like chop and drop, weed whacking. I don't know, just I think the chop and drop and weed whacking and farm maintenance might not be as necessary. But anyway, if you want to put that, then I put what you wrote basically in the document. So if Rob and I don't know if you want, I can share the screen if you like that better, Nick, or
Oh yes, I like the screen share.
yeah, check that out. Stefan, I saw highlighted. Maybe he's checking on the Chat GPT if we can word it better.
You know me too well. That's what I'm doing. So it says that 5 days of work or $125 per year for farm maintenance tasks, such as weed whacking, chop and drop, clearing along roads and ditches on the lot, and checking water systems. It's pretty much the same. Did you just add something? Wait, I added below. Now you can
I
see
did
what
add, yeah.
ChatGPT
I
wrote.
added the
Okay.
8 hour per day because it's
Oh, yeah.
like I got 5 days. What could it be? 1 hour a day also, it's not specific enough.
Yeah, okay. I will do it again, please.
Like a 40-hour work week, standard 40-hour work week.
Okay, so this would be the new one. I added it below. If it's good or better, we can use that.
But
The
maybe
only
even
difference,
specify 40 hours.
yeah, 8 hour day, 40 hours. Yeah, I think the only difference it made is like the chop and drop part and the weed whacking. It made a different kind of spelling there. Yeah, not a whole lot of difference. So that's good, I guess.
Okay.
I think to just shorten the wording there, like this 8 hours per day or 40 hours per week, can just be 40 hours.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
We don't even need the days because
Yeah, but I think that's okay. And like it's not like counting the hours also. It's gonna have to be, a little bit more human than that.
I think we can remove the week, no? Then just 40 hours.
Yeah, 40 hours.
so that's pretty good. I like that. It's quite specific. So we have 5 days, 40. Oh, it's kind of, let's also say minimum. So obviously people do a lot more, minimum of 5 days of work or 125 days per year for farm maintenance, including weed whacking, chop and drop, clearing around roads and ditches on the lot, and checking water systems for failure and fixing them at their own expense, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, but this is not so clear. It's like, am I supposed to check the water system that we are sharing and stuff and fix it at my own expense because it's crossing my lot? That's not so cool. But
I think it's for the private water. If it's a communal water, then there should be a community budget maintaining it, or the other owner would check. I don't know how that works.
yeah, I mean, this is basically a routine, and of course, it's all these things are tricky now that there aren't many people there still. But like, there should be routines for this where, someone is walking along the lines and checking, and at intervals. But that's something else, that's like a community or maintenance routines.
Yeah, in the future, hopefully that would be part of the community budget. There has been, I don't know if they still do it, but there's like specific separate budget for specific water system. There was like this water system at FH2, and whoever wants to hook up with it, even an owner from what used to be FH4, you know, people in neighboring areas and stuff, they would kind of contribute funds into that budget. So you could have like a specific road budget for a specific section of the road, maybe like how Nick recently did like some work on a certain road, and some people even from different places, if they use that road like FH3, but they use the FH1-2 road or whatever. So, but anyway, I think this is reasonable kind of MVP, let's say. And then for the physical presence, maybe we could just remove that altogether. What do you guys think?
I agree.
It should.
Heard Rob say agree, but then I heard something I wasn't sure. Was it Nick or Stefan?
I said digit. Like,
Gotcha. Yeah.
first I understood Nick is also against it.
Yeah. I think, well, he said like representative, so maybe this maintenance kind of takes care, like if somebody, and then I guess, what is this? Yeah, so I don't know if there's a place we can archive old ideas or just kind of get rid of it from here, erase it.
Yeah, get rid of it. We can recover it, or we can write it again, no? Or I'll paste it below, and that could be used for the trial member later. So here, here further, I'm writing already further things to define trial member process, and here you can put the idea behind. Yeah, something like that. Just as a reminder, we can also move this formatting with here. I will format it to you.
Oh yeah.
And the physical presence we don't need. Yeah, we also need it, yeah.
Yeah, because that'll be in the, well, that'll be for the for new members, right? So define, let's say for
trial member.
For new
trial member process.
Applicants.
No. I mean, this could be a like a section that includes all kinds of new things we can think about in the future. This is not only for new applicants, but then this part that I'm marking now is for trial member process.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can add here more things later. I can make this a bigger thing here. Yeah.
Okay, so I think, yeah, we're getting close to kind of finalizing the MVP here. I like that. Anyone else? I guess we've been...
Yeah, that's really good. Only the quizzes are missing here.
Yeah, I don't know how
we can amend it.
Find some templates online about... I'm sure there's something that exists about NVC and sociocracy somewhere by now.
Use AI and create them quickly with JotForm as you did the other quiz. That can be done in half an hour using AI.
I was thinking maybe to use, because I'm out of the forms, I have the free version of JotForm, maybe just the Google Forms, they have their own thing.
Yeah, also good. Yeah, for the question themselves, you can use AI if you want. That will speed up the whole thing.
Yeah, they might exist already somewhere, I imagine. So.
Yeah.
But okay, so that
you mentioned this about Google Forms. So this is a bit of just a technical question. Is there a limitation to how many forms you can have on one user on Google Forms?
I don't think there's a limitation. It might be more on the space you're using, because Google gives free 15 gigs. So if it's somehow, it's very minimal because it's mostly text. But if you have uploads, which you can have in some forms, like we have, so I'm actually using just JotForm for all the main other forms, and we might transition to the Google Forms as well.
Very good.
Yeah, it sounds like an idea.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, I also added this part here on the top that is blue. just as a rationale to explain what we're doing here, why this is important. So if you all agree, I can also remove this color. So I said to resolve existing ambiguity between ownership and membership, and to acknowledge prior participation in community life, current property owners are granted a transitional pathway. This ensures clarity going forward while offering a fair continuation for those already engaged. This summarizes it, right? What do you think?
It's good.
I'll read it again. So yeah, and I guess some main last homework will be just I want to go over the quizzes, but other than that, it seems pretty good. Now, do we want to put? I would like to put something just to make sure that it's perfectly clear. If like there's violation, somebody was, let's say, as we have like someone we already voted was like primarily an issue. Violating whatever bylaws. But okay, let me read this. Yeah, go ahead if anyone has any comments. That's a good sentence. I'm reading the next sentence. I would like to see how we can modify it or just somehow be more clear that if someone was already violating, so if an owner did violate like something, like as I said, then maybe it's not all current owners. Maybe if I can add something. How do you spell violate? Yes.
Except those who have been voted out already or previously been voted out due to, gross violations, for example.
I can run it through AI if you like.
I would write in 2 sentences, like all current owners, shall be like granted status of active member. The exception to this comes another sentence is those who have already been voted out due to gross violations.
Gross part, like serious kind of.
Yes. Or serious violations. Yeah.
I like simple letter language sometimes.
Yeah. No, that I that's fine. That's fine. It's good.
Okay. Okay, maybe that also should be kind of a separate sentence. Does that make sense or not? Maybe AI will help us. Oh yeah, good previous. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
actually, sorry. Like so.
There you go. Yeah. So yeah, maybe AI will help us clean it up, but for now, it makes sense in like 4 separate sentences. And this almost seems like it should be in brackets, like ownership state is unchanged, just in case there's any confusion about that. Now I have another thought. Should we look at any of these kind of exit member process or anything, like how that works, or is this kind of enough to do a MVP and then kind of go from there? That's good, actually. I like, so it says each eligible holder, so it's not just anybody.
Yeah, very good.
So we could probably, well, actually, one thing I want to put is the link to the bylaws there. And I think we could just take the new version.
Regarding this with the bylaws, I mean, we have people at Fruithaven 3 that claim that there were no bylaws and they never read any bylaws or something. Do you think that Peter neglected to mention this to them and neglected to show this to them because he did not himself approve of the bylaws or something like that? Or are they simply just lying about it or have conveniently forgotten about it?
So yeah, that's interesting. I do remember something Peter was talking about, something that the bylaws, maybe certain things, certain parts of them couldn't really be enforced. Like, I think I don't know if this version that's linked, let's see. It had a part that was saying like we could like force a sale or something like that, which actually is not true.
Yeah, of course we can't, but that's kind of besides the point of really the bylaws, like what to adhere to in terms of, you know, behaviors and stuff.
Yeah, and then just quickly, if someone wanted to speak. Okay, so yeah, just so what I remember, I don't know the details. Yeah, it's a good question, but my thinking, I remember from what I remember anyway, that he started something different, like a community contract that would have every communal property or every property that was separate. So contract for FH1, FH2, FH3, whatever. And it would basically have the names and people were supposed to sign it. From what I've seen, I've only seen maybe 2 FH2 owners actually sign it, and both of them are not there anymore at the moment. One sold like Giovanni, and the other was Maria that wants to sell for a while now. That's what I know. So it's kind of like people didn't really sign it. So maybe they kind of saw it and kind of like, but they weren't like necessarily, like, I don't know if they agree, disagree. Like, for example, here it says that it's Fruithaven 1 at the top. So maybe they kind of got the idea, well, this is just a Fruithaven 1 bylaw. And so it doesn't actually, and it's only for the community too. It's not necessarily like it doesn't specify that it's for private properties or something like that. And it does say, yeah, like whatever it affects the community, but it does talk about private homestead lots. So I don't know. Yeah, we have to review it. And
It was originally
yeah.
titled FH1 bylaws because at the time you didn't have that many properties. And what's happening there is that they link to the wider Fruithaven sovereignty doctrine and everything else. And the signing is also it's good that it's signed because it's like it makes it easier, but it's also mutual agreement. And because we publish everything on the website and they're also informed with the emails when they buy into it, they also have it mentioned in the community contracts that they sign. Like all of these things are linked together, so it cannot be claimed ignorance of it and confusion, because we've even discussed it to them in person as well.
Yeah, that's kind of what my thinking too. That is, but I want to, kind of give that perspective that they haven't even seen any bylaws or agreed to anything, I wanted to just give that a fair chance to kind of be vetted, that statement. But we have the community bylaws for FH3 also, you know. It's just it's the same bylaws. It's just FH3, yeah. So, and of course, they did apply, you know, to become eligible for buying a lot, and in that process they agreed to the bylaws and the vision and all that stuff, and yeah, so, and stating that they were vegan and stuff also, of course. But yeah,
there was a vetting process.
That's the point now, really. But yeah,
Remember now that there was some FH3. I don't know if I don't remember if I still have that, but if we see the date here was past 2019, so FH3 was purchased, I think it was 2018. So that does make sense that there was already Fruithaven 1, 2, and 3, and I think 2 was kind of skipped. Maybe there wasn't like enough people. But also I found interesting here, it says Elpungi, but actually FH1 is not Elpungi, it's Gualakisa, whereas FH3 is Elpungi. So I don't know, maybe Peter kind of mixed up stuff. I didn't really read this in detail for a while, so it's interesting to look at it again. So yeah, I wonder, okay, I think if they're saying that they haven't seen it or just weren't made aware of it, it probably just kind of made up thing, because it's like, well, it's not been signed, and they kind of just like, oh, here is a bylaw, but it's like maybe they don't agree with it. So I think that could be an option of what happened. Or when they came in as an owner at that point, maybe the bylaws, because Peter said like, oh, we'll just use the contracts and replace the bylaws. I do remember him kind of saying that we should just replace the community bylaws with this community contract. And then he started making these contracts, which I think we shared in the owner group. At least I shared whatever I had there. And then look at that. I think that also used to say something about forced sale. I think that was something that Peter later took out for new owners. But yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
So
I just checked, and the FH3 is signed also. It was also 2019, the same as this one, like 17th of May.
makes sense.
And also,
So-
these contracts were never implemented. It was just something that he was kind of had started working on, but it was not implemented. And these change and these things, they were never voted through by anybody or signed by anybody except Maria and Giovanni, apparently.
To my knowledge, it might have been somebody else also, but yeah, I don't remember seeing anyone else that signed it.
So really, we can, in all fairness, refer to these bylaws as the only bylaws that have ever passed consensus or voting.
Yeah, I think it's fair. The contract, I don't think it has anything too offensive in it. Like if it's removed the fact that there's a forced sale kind of imposed, then I don't think it was actually made. I think, yeah, maybe kind of what you're saying, Rob, that Peter started not agreeing with the bylaws, and so he made, or maybe he just wanted to allow more people in. It didn't specify anything about veganism. Or yeah, I don't remember anyway the details. We can look at it again.
I do remember looking onto the contract, and some of the wording was different to kind of to deal with these little nuances. I think like you guys even used the word plant-based as opposed to vegan, so you had things like this inside that were different. And you're saying it makes sense that why it's there, like because you're saying that Peter just kind of changed it, and then nobody in your community in FH3 actually agreed to that.
Yeah, I mean, he changed. He went completely non-vegan and started like having animals, you know, for his farm purposes and stuff. So he just wanted to remove all those things and kind of change it to let in other people that were not even remotely vegan, and he wanted it to be something completely different than what he started. So but yeah, those contracts or bylaws or ideas were never kind of completed or voted through or anything. Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. We're at the top of the hour, so yeah, I think we can sign off. Maybe a couple more minutes. So yeah, I think there's good progress we made. I guess yeah. So somebody was voted out due to violations of the current bylaws. So yeah, and that's something that we could modify easier once we have like a core group of members. Basically, that I think that's been kind of the most important and interesting idea of like, okay, once we have a core group of members, then it'll be easier to make decisions, hopefully, because most likely the 40 whatever owners are not going to all want to remain members. So maybe in the next meeting, or I don't know, yeah, whatever you guys think, what the next step would be.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I am going to try and watch these YouTube videos and stuff also, and even take the quiz and stuff and see how that is.
Yeah, the quiz was made by Peter as well. So if something about it you don't like, we can also modify that particular quiz, and then we make the other two quizzes with either some templates or AI or whatever, and then yeah, put that as highlight or something. And so that's basically the last steps. And yeah, okay. The other question, I don't know if anyone addressed when I asked, you guys think we should look at the process for the exiting? Because maybe more members would just say, okay, we're exiting, or for whatever reason, before the year is up, or I don't know, or maybe just wait. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. We need to define the tax on non-members, landowners, non-members. They need to have. They're still sharing infrastructure. There still needs to be tax and consequence for not fulfilling the tax.
This is a good idea. We need to mention somewhere in this proposal that regardless, they're still owners and obligated to contribute to the budgets and maintain something like that anyway. Is that, yeah, or maybe I'll highlight it to make sure that the sentence makes sense to everyone. Eventually, we might not have to have the exit exit process or anything at this stage, like of the MVP, let's say.
No, but I think it's natural also to put it in there, so that it's kind of clear from the beginning, also like and how to like exit and what it means, and yeah. But we're already 10 minutes after 8, and you guys need to go, so I don't need like a lot of progress every meeting, but it's good to have like some quality progress, and I'm happy with this now. So.
Yeah, if I can say something before we leave, the only progress is not the only progress is what we're writing down. I see a lot of other progress here. I see how we adapt thinking, how we think always about clarity, about making things explicit. I see you guys doing already a really great job. This is also progress, and I really appreciate it. It's really good work you're doing.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Having more clarity, details, everything. Go on.
Sorry, yeah, I just wanted to say I'm really happy with the process also, and it's a good thing we have going here. So you guys have a nice day, and Do we go on Sunday or?
Yeah, I think it's good. Sunday afternoon, is it still good 2 p.m. for you, for local time, Rob?
You know, it varies a bit. Last time it was because I was with family and stuff and dinner and such, but what's best for you guys?
I think we're pretty flexible. It could be from 12 to 2 on Sunday, whatever you find best, because your time zone is a little more different than ours.
Yeah, I think 12 is generally really good because it's early enough that I can get to bed on time and get up early and work out and all that before work and stuff. Yeah.
For me, how are you guys, Nick and Stefan, for those times, for that time?
Yeah, I think for me it works.
What's the time? Sorry.
A Sunday, 12 p.m. this time, this Sunday.
Yeah, sounds good.
Nice. So yeah,
Nice.
we'll continue.
All right. See you then. Take care.
Take care, guys. Thank you very much.
Bye bye. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thanks again. Yeah, I'll close it and send off all the recordings.